Hi, I'm Rob Webb, and welcome to our live forum on fundraising and board development. This is the July 22nd edition, and we are going to talk about how to market your nonprofit with purpose. My guests today are Mary Anderson, from the Digital Marketing Hive. Mary is the brand specialist with the Digital Marketing Hive. How are you, Mary?
I am doing great. Happy to be here. How are
Thank
you?
you. Oh, I'm awesome, man. I'm stoked and ready to go and help our nonprofit people learn how to market. You guys are going to teach me a little bit too. Down below me here, this is kind of like the Hollywood squares of fundraising. Maria Bryan is the nonprofit digital marketing specialist with the Digital Marketing Hive. Hello, Maria.
Hello.
I am excited to have you guys both here. We're going to be here for an hour. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things. Before we get into this, I want to first welcome all of our members that are here in the, you could be watching from YouTube, and you can't, but from YouTube, you can't participate in the live chat. If you're watching from Facebook, you can participate in the live chat. And I invite you now to go down and put in the comments. Tell us your name. Tell us about your nonprofit. Tell us anything you want in there. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and start it off and say hello. Let's see if that works here. Oh, okay. A couple of announcements for those of you that are watching. We were dark last week, and I took the week off for my birthday, and we had an exciting announcement that we announced last week that we have added a member to our team, Linda Lysakowski, ACFRE. That stands for Advanced Certified Fundraising Executive. And Linda is now joining our team. She has 11 online training courses on our website now. And perhaps we'll show you a little about that stuff in addition to our One Lonely online training course we made several months ago called Intro to High Impact Campaigns, a guide to prepare for your success. Okay, let's get back to Mary and Maria. I want to know what is what's happening in the Hive right now.
Oh man, the Digital Marketing Hive is a Facebook community. It's a Facebook group for small businesses and small nonprofit founders and all kinds of marketers from across the globe. And it's a community for us to learn together about the latest trends in digital marketing. And more than that, it's a space for us to encourage one another and support one another. We bring on guests like yourself, Rob. We hope to have you on soon.
I look forward to coming on. I can't say that I'm a marketing specialist.
That's okay. We bring people on, we had someone talk about sales. We're bringing someone in to talk about mindset, which has nothing to do directly with digital marketing, but absolutely everything to do with being successful.
We love that mindset stuff. In June, we did what we called what was it? It was the what is the magic word? And that was based on a training from Earl Nightingale. It was recorded in 1961. And of course, the magic word is attitude. And you guys are doing a very similar type of thing right now in mindset training in the Hive, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're focusing on mindset this month. And it's really it's a relevant topic for all of us, right? In every department of everything, like mindset is so important.
And so many of our nonprofit leaders, they need that. It is a lonely job sometimes being a founder, being a nonprofit executive. We've got a lot of people that are watching us that do everything from having to clean the toilets to be the executive director and marketing and everything in between, make sure programming gets done. And we're here to help those people today, right?
Absolutely. It's overwhelming. It can be a really lonely place. So we're really glad to be part of your community, and the Hive is just a place where we celebrate wins and cheerlead each other along the way.
Thank you. We've got somebody from Ottawa in here, Avid Soul. Thank you for joining us in the group today. We help nonprofit organizations with their IT products and support. We're going to talk a little bit about that IT stuff today. Before we dive into that, let's talk a little about what does marketing on purpose mean?
Do you want me to take this one, Maria?
Yeah, it's all you, Mary.
Yes. So marketing on purpose. So for most, marketing is like this overwhelming thing. Like, you need to be doing all these things. You need to have a newsletter. You need to be posting on social media. So you just haphazardly are just posting just to post, and you think people will just donate to your nonprofit just because you're posting. Whereas what we really advocate for is marketing on purpose, which is marketing with intention and putting a thought process essentially and a strategy behind what you're doing. So this shows up in ways of, setting goals and objectives and following up on those goals and objectives, but it's also bigger than that. It's, one of the things that we do in the Hive is every Monday, we have our Monday mantra where we set our intention for the week and what we're going to focus on that week. So it's being intentional with every piece of marketing. I know one thing Maria always says is that your most focused marketing efforts are going to be your most successful. So when you market on purpose, you will be more successful.
Perfect.
I don't know if you have anything to add there, Maria.
Jump in there, Maria.
Yeah, what I would add is the other side of that is that marketing on purpose is marketing with attention, and marketing with purpose is using marketing and storytelling to make the world a better place. And that's really the kind of clients that Mary and I have and the kind of people that we surround ourselves with. Whether you're an ethical business or you're a nonprofit or you're an organization supporting nonprofits, we are all trying to make positive change in the world, and marketing can play a really important role in that. So we support people who are purpose-driven to market on purpose.
That's something that we need to learn here. I know sometimes I find myself overwhelmed with Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram. And then I've got my group here that we're, nonprofit campaigns community. We're engaging nonprofit leaders in. It can be overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, it's ever changing. It's the wild, wild west, but it's still really important. I know when I started my small business, and I recommend this to any small business or nonprofit, but I really eased into social media. I didn't do all the platforms at first, and so while it was good to help me build the foundation of my business, the sooner you start these things, the more time you have to build that authority needed to either get donations or for sales. So yeah, it's incredibly overwhelming. And what we really try to teach is that, like Mary said, your most focused efforts will be your more successful ones. So you don't have to be on every single platform. When you have a good idea of what your goals are for just the quarter or for the year, things will become a little bit more clear on which platforms you need to be on or where you need to invest your time.
Yeah, and because if I'm pretty good at Facebook, I'm learning Instagram. Young people are now on TikTok, which kind of not my thing. I got to tell you, you guys own Twitter and Instagram. I was very impressed. How many Twitter followers do you guys have now?
Well, I personally have over 5,000 followers. Instagram, I'm still figuring, and this is another thing. If you're showing up as yourself, and every nonprofit founder should be showing up as yourself, you should start at the platform that you feel at home. Because people are going to pick up real quick when you're like trying to figure out TikTok. Not that you shouldn't experiment and have fun, but find one space where you are at home. And Twitter is my home. I love Twitter.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've got all of 125 people on Twitter.
Okay.
And to me, it just seems like a platform for angry people. And I'm going to listen to your expertise here, how to grow my Twitter and grow my Instagram, because those are really important. Before we jump into the next question, I got a few people to say hello to. Ron Petke, it says, did you saw the lady in half yet? No, that comes up later in the show. And Mary and Maria didn't know they get to be sawn in half. Ron is actually a good friend and comedian from Long Beach way back in the day. And he produced cable TV shows before the internet ever existed. And I cut my teeth on Ron Petke's TV shows back in Long Beach, California, way back in like the 80s. You guys weren't even born yet, I don't think. We also have Rick Miller Oh, well,
I was not.
I'm giving you one there. All right. We also have Rick Miller in the room here. He says, thank you for sharing your gifts. And thank you, Maria for mentoring us today. Richard Miller is in Pennsylvania, helping lift people up for social impact to Rotary International.
Very cool. Welcome, Rick.
Rick, and I got to tell you, 3 weeks ago, we did a show on the importance of service clubs, Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions, all these different service clubs that are out there, and the importance for nonprofit professionals to get involved in that. Rick, you got to catch that show if you haven't seen it yet. So, Mary and Maria, why is marketing foundational to a thriving nonprofit organization?
You want to take this, Mary?
You can do.
Mary is like with branding, I feel like sometimes comes first. So Mary really is the branding specialist, and I'm more of the marketing writer. So marketing is your storefront, your website, your social media, your print, whatever you do. Most times it's the first impression that you have. And oftentimes nonprofits, their brand, what they show through marketing, does not match the high quality services that you provide. So if you are trying to grow the amount of people you serve, or your partners or your donors, you have to focus on what people see. What I always tell people is you need to match your services. If you are pouring your heart and soul and you feel like all the money that is coming in needs to go right back in services, it's going to halt your growth. So marketing is not only foundational as you're starting out, as you grow, you consistently need to be showing high value marketing, whether that's through what you are writing or through speaking engagements or even the tweets that you're sending out. Especially today, with COVID, we see how many people just spent so much time online and how many programs ended up having to go digital. If people are going to choose your organization, they are going to see your digital presence first. Mary, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, that was great. I do have a few things to add. Really, your branding, your marketing, all of that it's really psychology driven too. So it's not just, you want to create something that matches and something that is has depth to it, but psychologically, your audience is going to better receive the content. They're going to want to donate with you more. They're going to want to donate to you more. They're going to want to volunteer with you more. If your marketing and your branding is impressive, like it's your first impression, and your brain already has a positive bias to want to accept that information in a positive way, because it makes sense to your brain, right? Like our brains want to put things in boxes and it wants to make sense of the world, and branding and marketing is kind of matching the boxes of their brain with your boxes to make sure that you're forming meaningful connections with your audience. So it's adds depth to what you do.
Yeah, one of the things I've learned a long time ago is, we got to be solving a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And for us, our clients, their problem is they need to raise more money. What they don't know is they need to work on board development, and which is foundational to fundraising. And I think if you can work on that message to solve that, what is the problem and how do we fix it and solve it, I think is a real critical one. Do you guys want to jump in on any of that?
Oh, totally. Yeah. That's actually one of the questions that I go through with my clients when we do our brand discovery sessions is, we figure out what is their core purpose. I ask them not only, what is the problem, let's really understand this problem, but let's also understand your solution and what solution you are bringing to the table, and pairing those together it just makes really strong marketing.
Yeah. And when you're in your world, you forget or you take for granted that not everyone understands your issue, right? So being able to really articulate an issue and a problem and articulate how you're solving that problem, that's marketing. And sometimes even if you are a marketing pro, you might need somebody to come, from the outside to help you, tell that story or articulate it a little bit better. So absolutely understanding pain points and how you're solving them.
And you guys are available to do that stuff, right? And pardon me while I had to fix my flowers. The trade winds here in Hawaii and Maui. I'm in Maui right now. I work remotely here. It's a tough job from Maui, and they're blowing my flowers down behind me. Folks, if you're in Facebook watching this, go ahead and put your questions in there. Ron Petke had one question.
Oh, yeah, I see Ron. I don't know if we were answering questions. I see a few questions in there that I'm excited to answer.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about those and get a chance to answer those. So throw those questions in. Ron Petke says, do you folks believe that every nonprofit should have a video of some sort?
I am so slow to tell people they need to do anything. But in 2021, we know that Instagram is going in that direction. We know that YouTube has exploded. And video is a combination of so many mediums, right? So it's the image, it's the audio, there's so many things to tell a story. So I think it is a worthwhile investment to even just make one short video that you can use to promote a certain campaign or to promote your nonprofit. I'm not saying that needs to be your first investment and you just throw everything at a video, but some of the most powerful campaigns that I have either seen or that I've worked on have included a video of some type because they're just so powerful. And fortunately, there's so many tools out there that make creating videos easier and easier, even reels on Instagram. I mean, so quickly you can shoot 15 to 30 second video and add music to
right
it
from your phone.
On your phone. Do it. We could all do it. Actually, video editing is not my expertise, but I'm able to make really short videos, and there's free tools online that you can use to make a video. So Ron, I think that it's a worthwhile investment. Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said. Video has this really awesome power to be able to tell more of your story in an engaging way. If you just have a post, I guess carousels are becoming more and more popular, so you can put more content there, but still long chunks of text, people just don't really love to read. Whereas if it's a video, you can really capture them in and tell your full story with tons of words without putting work on your audience. So I completely agree.
And I got to say that we use StreamYard today, and StreamYard is stupid simple to be able to interview people. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Some of the most compelling videos I see on Instagram and all over the place aren't necessarily the most produced and edited ones. They're from the heart. And right here with the phone here, talking from your heart, telling your mission, telling your story. We do have a couple of more questions in here. Emily posted in here. Capelli, I believe, is the last name. I'm a fundraising consultant. Welcome, Emily. So am I. And she says that we'd love to hear your thoughts about collaborating with fundraising functions of an organization. Marketing, and this is kind of a growing trend that's going on right now. Marketing and communications and fundraising, a lot of nonprofits are merging these two together.
Yeah. So I worked in-house for nonprofits for about 8 years, and I've always been communications and marketing, and I've always been within the development department. So they work closely together. And for a time, I even had a hard time articulating the difference between nonprofit communications, nonprofit marketing, and nonprofit fundraising. COVID really helped put a little bit of that in focus, because when you think about when a crisis happens, how do you quickly relay really important information to people? That's nonprofit communications. Nonprofit fundraising is relationship building, right? It's the long game. It's one-on-one, or even if you're cultivating your email list, it's your strategies are very much in person or just relationship building, really. Whereas marketing is, to me, especially nonprofit marketing, is your brand, your essence, how you present yourself, how you are telling your story. So marketing and fundraising, it's crucial that they work together. right? Because fundraisers, their specialty is in relationship building, whereas marketers can package the impact to support fundraising, whether that be helping them create a campaign or manage social media or update a website.
Or just telling that story, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that elevator pitch is so important. I love the fact that you said relationships, and fundraising is relationships. If you've been in my group for a minute, you know we talk a lot about nonprofits need to develop a culture of philanthropy where relationships are important, and maybe it's not getting the most money from that donor right now, but what's best for the donor versus looking at versus a culture of charity, which is more transactional based. And I love the fact that you guys talk about that, and because that marketing effort is so important to telling that story and asking others to join us at that level of giving. Now, Mark, when we're talking about all this online stuff, it's what we call passive fundraising typically, right? And people are giving money on Facebook, they're giving money on your website. There might be, it might be a special event and you're doing a hybrid or a virtual special event, and they're involved that way. And our goal at Nonprofit Campaigns is to take you guys, and we didn't even talk about direct mail and some of these other forms of marketing. We're talking a lot about digital, but our goal at Nonprofit Campaigns is to let you experts go out and help us create those digital and direct mail passive giving platforms, and then we take those as fundraisers and take it to the next level to develop those relationships and continue that donor on the journey through the old-fashioned pyramid of giving. Rick Miller had a question first of all. Kimberly Barker from Barbados jumped in here. Aloha, Kimberly. We are working on a FundDuel campaign for her group right now, which is our virtual online fundraising platform that we offer. Rick Miller had a question. Are you working with Certified B Corp as a nonprofit as a brand mission? And I'm not sure I understand that question. Do you
Rick,
guys?
I'm not sure I understand. I'm not familiar with Certified B Corp.
I'm familiar with them, but I work with a lot of people who, a lot of my clients are Certified B Corps, on their way to Certified B Corps. So essentially, Maria, Certified B, it's a strict requirement. Like it sometimes takes years to go through this process, and they really dive in and look at your processes from the way you treat your workers to the way you're treating the environment. And it's essentially a way to certify ethics, like that certify that they have ethical manufacturing. So that's something that I definitely advocate for my clients to push for, because that's essentially a third-party certification to show your audience, if it's a business, my business clients, show them that you are committed to people and the planet and to making a positive impact in that way. So I definitely work with the certification, but I personally do not work with the organization or that brand, but definitely their mission is totally in line with what Maria and I advocate for all the time.
And we're gonna talk a little bit more about ethical marketing and marketing with dignity in a few minutes, and that's going to kind of tie right in there with it. Richard jumped in there. How do you establish a marketing aspect of showing your social humanitarian impact metrics to show more than a financial relationship? And I guess that kind of goes into that. What we were talking is, this is a question I'm going to ask you later about sustainable design and ethical marketing. That B Corp thing sounds a lot like our CFRE certification in the process that we have, Certified Fundraising Executive. I'm happy. And those ethics that we all sign as fundraisers should be signing with the Donor Bill of Rights and being really ethical fundraisers. I'm happy and proud to say that all of our online training courses, all 12 of them here at Nonprofit Campaigns, are certified for continuing education units for your CFRE credential. Where are we here? Let's go back to, we got a couple
Rick
of things.
has a question about showing impact. I think his question is about showing impact.
Okay, jump in there.
Can I give that a whirl?
Go.
So Rick, I hope I'm answering your question well, but when people are sharing on their website and on social media and e-newsletters, sometimes they get stuck in just sharing updates, right? So what's coming up, what they just did. And it sounds like what you're asking is, and how do you establish the marketing aspect of showing your social humanitarian impact metrics? You need to make sure that you are intentionally including impact stories. We talk about creating buckets. So let's say that part of your brand or your goals is to update people, but also you want to inform and educate people on an issue. And then maybe your third bucket is showing impact. When you're creating your content, now you know you're going to have diversified content. You're not just going to share one kind of content. You're also going to make sure you're educating your audience and that you're showing impact. Now, how do you show impact? Well, one great way to show numbers are through infographics. Infographics are a great visual way to take really large concepts and make them digestible and edible. But of course, something that we strongly believe is that telling stories is crucial match with numbers. So if you're talking about the number of people that you serve, the number of people that are affected by a certain issue, how many programs you have, make sure that you're mirroring that with stories of actual people whose lives have been changed from your organization.
Thank you. And that's so important because we're all on different companies' Facebook pages and social media pages. And I look at some of them and I go, all they do is sell. They don't do anything other than sell and tell the story, be funny, do something.
Yes.
Other than just sell. Now I got the opposite problem, right? I don't sell enough. If you look at our stuff, I'm like, finally my son and I are looking, it's like, I think it's okay for us to sell a little bit more.
I put that ask. It's usually one or the other. People forget to make that ask, but people are just asking.
Yep.
So yeah.
So at this point, let's talk about the 3 essential parts of a marketing plan. What are those 3 essential parts?
I'll let you take this one, Maria.
Okay. So we have worked with many, many clients, and Mary and I actually have worked together on a number of projects together. And we kind of have a process, a roadmap that we use for every client. So now this is a process that we share within the Digital Marketing Hive and with our, when we are teaching these concepts. And the first one is to deeply understand your audience. The second is to set ambitious but attainable goals. And the third is to plan content in advance and with intention. Like when we talked about creating content buckets, putting in the effort to take those goals, and now you know your audience, and you put that into action by planning content ahead. How many nonprofits and small businesses wake up in the morning and decide what they're going to post on social media? It makes such a huge difference when you really take a deep dive into what exactly your goals are and just have a few tactics to reach those goals. And then you plan that content ahead. Every piece of content then that you put into the world is going to bring you closer to reach those goals. Whether you are a company like our companies that you're just trying to grow your company, or if you're mission driven, every content will then help you make that mission a little bit more attainable.
And I think every business and every nonprofit needs to be mission driven, right? I mean, we have this thing that's nonprofits are over here, and let's face it, a nonprofit is a business, and every business has to have a mission. My mission is to help nonprofit leaders all over the world, inspire them to become the best fundraisers they can be. Just so happens we'd like to make a living doing that. Nonprofits, on the other hand, they have a mission that has to do. And some of these nonprofits, I think, we try to teach them it's okay to make a good salary in your nonprofit. It is not. It doesn't mean we're buying helicopters and stuff like that, right? But we're it's important, the two businesses go hand in hand. Just because you're tax exempt, you're still a business that has to keep
Rob, I
that in mind.
cannot agree with you more. It's actually something I'm so passionate about on both ends. I think that we are finally in the nonprofit realm starting to treat nonprofits like businesses and doing income generating activities, treating our money like businesses do, investing and growing our organizations with our finances, getting coaching, all kinds of things. But on the other end, we did a training on how to write your mission statement for both small nonprofits and for small businesses and nonprofits. And I realized there are a few things that nonprofits just are really, really good at business-wise in creating a mission statement. I mean, they are fantastic about diagnosing a problem and being crystal clear on how they're solving that problem. This is something that's so difficult for businesses to do. So I think that businesses actually have a lot to learn from nonprofits as far as deeply understanding their mission and their values. But something that I discuss with almost all of my clients is how to treat their nonprofits like a business and to explore all different kinds of revenue streams for that.
Yeah, and I really work on the opposite end of that. I really work with a lot of my business clients to make them more like nonprofits. Like, I think businesses have a bigger role to play in, nonprofits make such a big impact on the community, and businesses are really in a position to do just as much. So all of my clients, I'm like, yes, you need a mission statement. And a lot of them do have giving back programs, and they operate in more nonprofit ways than you would think. So I think, both of those sides are kind of merging together, and they're realizing, nonprofits have something to learn from businesses, and businesses have something to learn from nonprofits, for sure.
Awesome.
I think that the term nonprofit is going to change. It's going to take some time, but I have a feeling, I can feel it. I'm listening to conversation that we might merge the two, or just come up with a different word for the sector to break out of this mindset. That
if you're going to make up that word today and launch it on this show, what would we call it? Oh, nothing like putting you on the spot. Huh?
I wish I could remember, because I've talked to other consultants that have played around with them. And if anyone in the comments has an idea.
Okay, so let's go back to our audience now, and we're going to ask you to put in there, what is the new word that we're going to use for nonprofit?
For nonprofits. And
so we can change that paradigm. We need to change that paradigm out there that people have in their head. And so we want to know what you guys think. Go ahead and put that in there. Rick Miller came in, typed in a while ago, says, perfect, thank you. I guess you answered his question well.
Oh, good. I'm glad, Rick.
Emily jumped in and it says, love this discussion. And
Emily,
I love that.
Social
solution sector. What do you think, guys? Vote for Emily's thing.
I like that.
We're going to change the word nonprofit to the social solution sector. Heartfelt business.
I love that.
Heartfelt business. Ron Petke came in there. By the way, if you're watching this live right now, jump in there. Tell us your comments. Tell us who you are. Tell us. And by the way, you can go ahead and like this thing. I see 3 people liked this video so far. Like the video. You can love the video. You can pop in a wow in there. Hopefully you don't hit the sad button or anything like that when you're watching. That's one of the things we talk about marketing, right? One of the things that YouTube knows, when a lot of people make comments on these videos live and on the replay, and when a lot of people like it, YouTube's like, whoa, this must be important. We're going to show this to more people. So help us out. Go in there, hit the like button, hit the love button. Show us your show some love, baby. And let's see what Rick came in there. Accelerating life's calling. All right, so we have heartful business, accelerating life's calling. Mala, thank you very much. Mila, I guess that name is there. Thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about the traits of a successful. Let me start that over. What are the traits of a successful nonprofit marketer?
Okay.
I think there's a lot. I mean, we probably can both share, because I think one of the first traits is having a lot of traits, because to be a nonprofit marketer, especially, you know, a lot of the people that Maria and I deal with are very small. Like, you are likely on a teeny tiny team with not enough resources. So being able to wear several different hats and really move throughout those roles with ease is extremely important for a nonprofit marketer. And also being willing to just, you know, try things, not acting of fear, and just kind of putting yourself out there, putting your organization out there. I know, Maria, do you have some more to add?
Oh yeah, being a good marketer, you have to be a program manager. I mean, you really need, if you're in an organization that's more than party of one, like us, you need to collaborate with so many different, with fundraising, like I said, with communications, with finance, with all the programs. So you need to be able to lead in that way. You also need to be a critical thinker. I mean, if you are not taking the time to look at the analytics and to track, you know, what's working and what's not working, then, I mean, you have no way of knowing if what you're doing is successful and worth, you know, trying again or continuing with. Of course, storytelling, right? And I find that a lot of people enter into nonprofit marketing with that passion for storytelling. And so that is a trait that I think is really important in marketing. But I will say being in marketing is overwhelming because it's very technical. You know, we're talking about the difference between fundraising, marketing, communications. I find that marketing is the most technical. I mean, you have to know SEO. You have to know the ins and outs of paid advertising. I mean, it's not all creative. Like, you do need to be creative, and there's a lot that's not creative. So Ron, I see your question. I'll get to you in a second. So I think, and with that, Ron just asked something about press releases. And then there's the PR. I mean, PR is a whole different marketing beast, right? So I think to be, people often in nonprofit marketing feel like they don't belong because they don't have this wide, super unrealistic range of skills. So what I think is that you need to know what's needed and be able to delegate to other specialists. And I think that's the magic of being in consulting, is that if I have a project that needs a video editor or graphic design, I am not going to attempt to do that myself. That is not my strong suit. I bring Mary on for many projects. And if she needs maybe a writer, she'll bring me on because that's my strong suit. So just knowing that these are the organization's goals. So we need to focus on PR, or maybe we need to focus on creating that video, or we need to focus on SEO because that's going to help us bring in, you know, more clients or beneficiaries. Just knowing that is being a good marketer. And from there, you can hire out and delegate people that's their genius zone.
And as SEO obviously is search engine optimization for the newbies out there, and being able to, and it's something I'm working on now, right? I've got a website, and then we've got all this social media, and it dawned on me, it's like, why am I not posting links from the website and getting more backlinks? And, you know, so we're working on doing that. Ron's question about the press release, that's old school, baby. And
that's old school, Ron.
But you know what? I just wrote my first press release for nonprofit campaigns last week, announcing Linda Lysakowski's joining our team, and the fact that with Linda, she's an ACFRE and has helped. You know, I thought, boy, look at us. She's helped hundreds of nonprofits and raised over $50 million in capital campaigns. And so we wrote a press release about that, and we sent it to the Chronicle of Philanthropy and Nonprofit Times and all our local Long Beach publications and Hawaii publications. And I look back and I thought, why did it take me almost a year to write my first press release? I think, well, and nobody's published it yet. So I've got a Google alert right now on that. And we're working on that right now. But at least I did it, and I sent it out there. I put it on PR Log, one of those things. So at least it's out on the internet, and which is helping SEO and things for the website. I think the fact that I didn't goes back to that mindset thing, you know, and that imposter syndrome thing that sometimes it's like, I didn't think that I was important enough to market my own business until I brought on a partner. You know. Kind of weird, huh?
Well, here's the thing about press releases. If you're going to write a press release, it better be an amazing press release, because it's really a very traditional way to get the attention of editors and publications. Really successful PR is not about press releases. It's about it's the relationship building, like fundraising. It's having editors in your back pocket. It's being on Twitter all day and relationship building in so many different ways. It's knowing people specifically in your niche, and that you know them and they know you. So I wouldn't invest too heavily in press releases unless it's big, unless it's like a really, really big story and you think it's going to get some traction. But here's the caveat. There are smaller local publications and also sometimes papers in languages other than English. I know when I worked in Chinatown in New York City, all of the Chinese language newspapers were very open to press releases. So if you're trying to reach the big media, national or global outlets, press releases might not be it. But if you are trying to reach more local news or non-English news, press releases might still be successful for you.
All right, good stuff. Now, following up with that, Mila has a question. It says, how important is it to have a website for a nonprofit? Are social media accounts, are social media accounts enough, or do you really need to have a website?
We're smiling. We have very
Yeah. This is actually a question that we get often, and we are very strong advocates that yes, you do need a website, and social media accounts are not enough. And here's why. Really, the biggest reason why is that your website, you own that. That is your own. Like, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and something's happened and it's gone. You can wake up tomorrow, and we've seen horror stories all over the internet where, someone wakes up the next morning and their Instagram account is completely wiped clean, blocked. They're not showing up on there's just so many things that can go wrong with your social media account. You're buried in all these things. Yeah, you get hacked. Whereas your website really is the place that can be yours. Now, it doesn't have to be a 20-page website with a ton of information, right? It can really, the only three sections that you must have are about, your services, and your contact. They need to be able to contact you. So it can be really simple. It can even be a one page that just has all of those sections on it. We've seen those too. It can be super, super simple, but having that place that you own and that's yours is really important. Maria, do you have anything to add?
Yes. Multiply that. So important. But also, when people find you on social media and they're interested in building relationships with you further, they're going to look for your website. And it brings value and authority to your brand to have that website. Also, if you're making any kind of an ask, a website usually is one of the people feel safer doing that, whether they're purchasing something or donating something. Yes, people donate to Facebook, and I'm sure they'll become more comfortable fundraising on other platforms, but people will feel more safe and secure when they see a credible website.
What are those the must-have platforms for every nonprofit?
I believe website and email.
Okay. Now, is it okay to have a Gmail account, or do you think I know we have a lot of people that have Gmail accounts that I see coming through, and for us it's Rob at Nonprofit Campaigns or Mark at Nonprofit Campaigns.
So when I say email, I mean email marketing. So I mean a software like MailChimp or Constant Contact. And I want Mary to answer this too. But the reason why I think that website and email are the most important, it really goes back to what Mary said. You own your website, you own your real estate. And I would say for the most part, you own your email list too. Now, I will say there's increased regulations around building email lists where you can get like a hand slap if you are doing things that aren't part of like the rules and regulations. For example, everyone in your email list needs to opt into your email list. You can't take people's business cards and put them in, take all your friends and family and put them into your email list. You can't do that. You can email as many people as you want on your Gmail. But when it comes to building an email list, they need to opt in. Year after year after year, Studies show that people are more likely to act through email marketing than social media asks. So social media is a great way to show up, to engage with people. But when you do a campaign and you're asking for a donation on a Monday and you're asking on social media on Friday, that Monday you're going to find more money coming in. I mean, that is consistent. So that's why email to me is the second most important platform, is because you own it much more so than social media, which really, truly overnight you can lose that, or the trends can change so quickly on social media. Whereas with email, people generally keep their email for a very long time. And although people with their, business accounts, that might change, email is really a great community to make that big ask. And then I would say after that, when it comes to social media, that it's different for every organization. It all comes down to who your audience is and where they hang out. So, Rob, if your audience are nonprofit founders who are in a certain profession or age group, and they're not on TikTok, there is no need for you to get on TikTok. So I would take the time to understand the people. And for your nonprofit, maybe you're focusing on bringing in more clients. Maybe your focus this year is bringing in more partners like schools and elected officials. Maybe your focus is, of course, on increasing donations and getting people to come to events. Maybe it's volunteers. You decide what your goal is for the quarter or year, and then you tackle the platforms where you can reach those people.
Mary, do you want to jump in on that?
I'll add just a little bit, because I completely agree that those are the most important. When you hear marketing, most people, their minds these days go instantly to social media, right? And you think you just need social media, but really, like, you're competing with a lot of clutter on social media. There are a lot. You're competing with the algorithm. You're competing with the other posts that are on there that they're scrolling through. So, having your website and your email, even if you don't read the email, you're at least going to click it to make it unread. I mean, most people don't like to have unread emails open, right? So touching that a little bit closer rather than social media, I think is a really important thing. And then again, once you do get into that social media realm, really focusing in on the few, it can be just one platform if that's all that you can show up and actually do. Because with social media, if you have 5 platforms and you never post on any of them, you're not making any progress on all of those. So if you only have the time to do one platform, really spend the time figuring out which platform is it that your audience shows up on the most, and then which are you most comfortable with, matching that up and focusing there.
So I want to talk more about social media in a second. But I want to jump in on something with email. You guys, I really appreciate, Maria, I believe you said that you want them to opt in and you don't want to just be adding people randomly. I get so many nonprofit people question, you see these in the nonprofit groups all the time, is where can I buy a list of donors? And I'm like, it scares the crap out of me. I use Constant Contact. And I got to tell you, if I send out an email, I sent out an email on Tuesday announcing you guys, and not one person hit spam on that. Now, every once in a while, somebody will opt out and they don't want to be on your email anymore. Okay, I don't take it personal, but I get penalized and they'll drop my account at Constant Contact if I get a bunch of people saying, "What the hell is this?" and they hit the spam button.
Yeah. And I worked in an organization where I would, this is before these spam laws, where, and if you look at them a few years ago, maybe 5, even 10 years ago, it wasn't just opt-in. If you had a relationship with someone or they purchased, you can be added to your email list. So, and that's changed now to opt in. And so I remember reaching out to program staff and having them send me their contacts so we can add them to our email list. This was part of the MailChimp regulations. And someone had sent me a list. There were so many bad emails on that list. And these Constant Contacts will also see if these are not even real emails, right? And we got majorly penalized for uploading this list. It was a huge lesson learned. But since then, so many spam laws have been passed. They're very, very strong in Europe, but also in the United States, where truly you need to like really have people manually sign up for your email. But it's worth it. Even if you have a small email list, you want the right people there. And I'll tell you, every time someone unsubscribes and opts out of my email list, because I'm such a minimalist, I'm like, good. That's someone that is not gonna, doesn't,
You pay for the people that are on your list, right? And if you've got a bunch of people
right
that don't want to engage, get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Especially no one's going to see how many email subscribers you are. You really, truly just want people who are going to act on your asks.
And then one of the things we do in our Facebook group, we have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. Something I encourage a lot of nonprofits to have both or consider both. Having both is if you join our group, one of the questions we ask is please give us your email, and I say right in there, look, you can opt out immediately if you would like. You can easily opt out. I'd hate to see you go, but we ask for their email, and that's something we just started doing a few months ago. We have a lot of people that were joining the group, and they didn't really understand the rules, and they were spamming and doing things, and it kind of makes it legit, right? It makes the people that are joining really, if you're going to give me your email, there's a level of commitment there that you want to.
You want my content.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I also highly recommend, and this to go to Mila's question, is that for some reason you could lose that Facebook group overnight. I hope that doesn't happen, but now you have an email list of people in that group, and you can, communicate with them elsewhere. So I always encourage people to collect emails no matter what platforms they're on. So we do collect emails from our from the Digital Marketing Hive too.
Yeah, you could do that a lot of different ways. I haven't figured out how to do it on Instagram or on LinkedIn or like I said, I don't even understand Twitter real well. But let's talk about those platforms a little bit and different platforms. It's one thing to post stuff, and it's another thing. And I think your success on Instagram and on Twitter has been engaging with people, not necessarily posting all the time, right?
Yeah.
Tell us how to succeed in that engagement process.
I'll tell you how to succeed. Hire someone that's really good at engagement. That's my secret. I have someone that helps me with my Instagram and Twitter. It takes so much time to really, truly, when people are on social media, they focus so much on the content. And I tell nonprofits all the time, you don't need to be posting every day. If you post just twice a week or once a week, that's fine. It's the engagement, that kind of showing up, that's going to be relationship building. I have 2 toddlers under 3. I'm running my own business. I don't have the time to build my social media that way. So when I was at a point in my organization where I could bring somebody on, I have somebody that focuses on engagement for my social media, which is how I was able to grow both of those platforms. Mary and I manage the Digital Marketing Hive by ourselves. We don't have any help. If we ever get to the point where we do have someone that is helping to grow that, it would probably grow a little bit quicker. So I say that no matter what you're doing, social media, you don't want to spend all your time engaging on social media. So either
you got to work sometimes too.
You have to work sometimes too, Rob. We were talking about this the other day. So I really, truly could have spent all of my time this year engaging to grow my social media. And instead I chose to partner with someone who is, when I talk about people who have different genius zones, I mean, she understands the ins and outs of Instagram in a way, that's amazing. And you have people like that's their whole career is just helping people grow their Instagram or their Twitter or their Facebook group. So you don't need to know it all. I could give you tips and tricks, but really what I think you should do is if you're doing it yourself, be on very few platforms and spend more time engaging than hire someone or bring on, I don't want to say an intern because, you should be paying.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to ask you about volunteers in the nonprofit. Is it something that's that we should just say, take a volunteer and throw that out?
Not for social media and marketing. I think volunteers are very powerful. And Mary, I'm very interested in what you think about volunteers to volunteer with graphic design, because I feel like that's more project based. And we do use, I've in the past when I worked in house, used interns to do more like research based things. But really you want people that, and like I've built a long relationship with the person that's helping me with my social media management. So, and it took time for her to understand my voice and for her to, and I set very, very strict guidelines on what she could do. And along the way, there was a lot of mentorship, right? So you don't want one-off people managing. What were we saying? Marketing is your face. It's your brand. It's your voice. It's the first time people are maybe even like meeting your organization. So you don't just want, volunteers coming and going. I love the idea of volunteers supporting programs, but I think with like a lot of more back end and administrative, it's important to hire experts. Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I'll say on the volunteers in the graphic design, I know that there's people that do that, but I've also found in the communities that I've talked in and the designers that I've talked in is it's really hard to find graphic designers. A lot of people who rely on volunteers are desperate for volunteer graphic designers. So if you're depending on a volunteer for you, because you need not just any volunteer who's passionate about your nonprofit, you also need someone who is knowledgeable in graphic design and is going to do a really good job, right? You don't want to set them up for failure in a hard place like something like graphic design. So I think there is a situation in which that makes sense. I just think that situation is pretty rare. So it makes more sense to rely on something more substantial like outsourcing or having a designer on staff, because that is it's important and it's needed.
Excellent stuff. We've got a couple of questions I want to get to. I still got more questions, and we're coming up on an hour. I can't believe it's been an hour already.
We can come back, Rob, anytime.
Well, and I got to say, there's just a couple of things that I want you. Let's go to the questions here, first of all. So, because Ovid said that great advice, approach some students who are passionate about social media and helping your organization. And Ron Petke chimed in, and I know Ron taught at Long Beach City College, my alma mater. He said many schools, junior colleges often offer an internship for students. Should the nonprofit contact the school and offer that to a student?
Yeah, so I actually, for my major, was required. I had to take an internship before I could graduate. And I think that's similar in this type of field, is you have to do an internship as part of your schooling. I think I kind of cut you off though, Maria. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. I did too, a lot of, and I think that's a great opportunity instead of just bringing someone on. Like if they're getting credit for it, and I'd even still give them a stipend. I always recommend like $1,000 stipend for over 3 months. But and it's great to have someone that's already studying this area. What I'd say is the kinds of projects that you're giving them might not be the day-to-day social media management. It might be, like I said, research on what the trends are, or creating a specific campaign
report,
or, maybe doing the engagement. But if you do have them for maybe 3 months, I would make sure to have very clear social media guidelines for them to follow if they are taking over your social media. Maybe even making it clear, like introduce who they are and say, hey, this is Ron. He's going to be our summer intern. He is going to be taking over social media. And so people it gives a face to social media anyway. And then people have an idea of where the content's coming from.
And okay, Ron Petke, you're going to be our social media intern this summer. Come on in. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Digital Marketing Hive. Tell us, I got an image here. We're going to put it up. Tell us, how can we join the Hive?
Let me pull up the link and put it in the comments.
Okay, thank you.
Group. We do about 3 to 4 sessions. Oh, actually, for some reason I can't comment.
Well, you should be able to put it in. I'll tell you what we'll do. It's hard for me to type and do that while I'm talking, but we can put that in there. So when you watch the replay, tell us where to find it.
I'll put it in the private chat. So you can search for, so if maybe one of you can put it in the comments. So you can search for the Digital Marketing Hive. Of course, there might be like a few other ones. So we wouldn't want you to end up in another one looking for us. But you should be able to see that. Okay.
Yeah, look for that same image that Rob flashed up for us. That's our same cover photo. And yeah, like Maria said, we do 3 to 4 sessions, and that's Maria and I both do separate sessions where we go on live and I talk about branding, Maria talks about marketing, and then we often bring on guests, like we talked sales, confidence this month. And then we also do networking sessions so that we can all kind of come together and form meaningful relationships within the Hive and help each other out. You know, last time I think we ended up talking about making the leap to independence. One person was thinking about doing that, and we all kind of hopped in and supported her and answered the questions she had for that. So it's a fun community, and we're in there a lot, and we do a lot in there.
Yeah, and thank you. I see that Rick put the link to our Facebook page, which is great because we host our events there. And then Rob just put the link to the group. So
okay, good. So those are both good links. Very good. Lastly, you offer a product for sale called the Toolkit, right? The help me out there. What do we call it?
Marketing Toolkit, if you want to put that little reel, and then we'll explain what that is.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I guess let me find it here. When you created it, you had the audio on a separate reel, and I've got the audio-less reel. So we're going to go silent for just a second, and you can watch this, and we'll come back and talk about this in just a second. There's our toolkit from the Digital Marketing Hive.
I hope you had a happy song. That was obviously Mary and I don't live in the same place. We live in different ends of the country. So
I expected that to go across the whole screen. Sorry.
That's okay. That's for Instagram. So this toolkit, again, we talked about how we have this process that we have had a lot of success in, not only in our own businesses, but in all the nonprofits and ethical businesses that we work in. And so we made this workbook. So if you don't want to hire a consultant for thousands of dollars to help you create a marketing plan, or you're just starting out and you want to learn more about the basics of marketing, it walks you through this whole process. So not only is there a whole lot of learning, but there are exercises to actually create a marketing plan, and then you can use it year after year. And it includes a whole bunch of digital templates that you can use based on the learning in the workbook. So if you will learn how to make an audience persona, and then you'll have the digital template to create that. Or we'll teach you how you can keep track of analytics. And then we have like a KPI tracker so that you can do that. So that's
awesome. And it's $99, right?
Yes, $99. It's on our website, which is dmskillup.com.
Type that in there, or somebody, while you're typing that in there, I'm going to do a quick screen share and do our little promotion that I'm so excited about. And I'm hoping this works. When I get in screen share, sometimes I get lost, but I'm going to go in here and try it out today. Nope, not my email. We want to go to online training, and that's what we're going to do here. So if you go into our website, which is nonprofitcampaigns.com, there's a tab over here that says online training. And if you scroll down, I am very happy to announce, of course, we've got our own course in there, but we've got 11 courses by Linda Lysakowski, ACFRE, that is our new contributor and training partner here. And you can go in there and buy, just go in there, take some time, check these out. There's everything from building your dream team of volunteer fundraisers, which is very similar to our online training course about high impact campaigns, build a great board. It goes down into donor relations and development plans, and now we jump into capital campaigns, and of course she's all kinds of great programs from $99 on up. We are very, very honored to offer Linda Lysakowski's programs. And I think I'm out of the stream. Yep, we're back live. Thank you, Mary and Maria, for being here from the Digital Marketing Hive. Your expertise has helped so many nonprofits today, and that is our goal. Thank you also to our viewers and those who participated. Rick and Ron. Ron just posted mahalo. Mary, Maria, and Ram. Thank you. Mahalo is our Hawaiian word for thank you, by the way. And I got to tell you, Ron is the most Hawaiian guy I know that lives in California. I got to escape, and I live in Maui now. I love it. So mahalo, Ron and Rick and everybody else that jumped in there. Thank you guys for, oh, look at that. 6 people posted that they love this video. If you're in there, hit the like button, hit the love button. Post a comment and thank Mary and Maria for the wonderful things that they offered us today, and for putting up with me. Mahalo. I appreciate it.
So fun, Rob.
Thank you.
We're going to return next week at the same bat time and the same bat channel for another edition of our what do we call this? The live forum on fundraising. Next week, we are going to have Linda Lysakowski. ACFRE is going to be our guest. We're going to go 1 hour with Linda talking about her online training courses, we're going to answer a lot of questions about fundraising. It just said amazing video. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Remember, you can catch the replay on this on Facebook and YouTube. Share it with your friends and nonprofit colleagues that need to learn about marketing and fundraising. That's what we're here for. That's our mission. God bless you all. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Live Forum on Fundraising. Have a great day.
Bye.
Take care.